Madam Chair. Commissioner Rosenworcel, as I said in my opening statement, it's refreshing to finally be having a hearing as we're having a conversation about the importance of having a 5-member Federal Communication Commission, the importance of what I hope will be a confirmed NTIA director as well, the importance of having a full FTC as well, given all the challenges that this committee has had before it, whether it be the revelations with the Wall Street Journal, with Facebook, and the importance of protecting children, the importance of privacy and the work that is being done. And I just want to say thank you to the chair and the ranking member for bringing this hearing before us. And I look forward to the other hearings where it's my hope that the 67 members that supported the bipartisan infrastructure package that sent $65 billion to the Department of Commerce, namely the NTIA, that they will move swiftly as well to confirm an NTIA director so we can get that money into our communities. But I want to highlight some of the work that still needs to be done to protect consumers in New Mexico and make all forms of connectivity more affordable, resilient, and secure for families in my state, particularly in rural and tribal communities. Promoting affordable, resilient, secure broadband should be at the core of the FCC's mission. But Congress has not clarified jurisdiction, particularly the user privacy. The FTC just completed a report on the privacy practices of internet service providers that gives more evidence that Congress must move comprehensive privacy legislation. So my question is both for Chairwoman Rosenworcel and for Mr. Bedoya. Chairwoman Rosenworcel, yes or no, do you commit to this committee to protect consumer privacy, including ensuring that tech platforms and internet service providers recognize their duty to secure and minimize use of individual identifiable information?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. The answer is yes.
Mr. Bedoya, the same question.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Traditional local communities in New Mexico have challenges when it comes to access to high-speed, affordable broadband. Commissioner Rosenworcel, you know this best. You actually rode on a bus with me in rural New Mexico, which was retrofitted so students could access the internet. We're now seeing the deployment of more of this across America. Bus drivers like it because students are more attentive. Students like it because they're able to get work done as well. It has also become more difficult for us to access local news and understand developments in our own communities, particularly for families that speak Spanish at home. Newspapers, radio, and television can no longer rely on ad revenue that has largely shifted to Facebook and Google. And as we've seen in this committee, local trusted voices are difficult to hear through all the noise where misinformation is often the loudest. And these social media companies are doing much worse with bringing accountability to non-English language, namely Spanish language, when it comes to misinformation. What can the FCC do to support local broadcasters and local newspapers so that they continue to serve the needs and interests of our communities in New Mexico and around the country?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. It's really important for our democracy that we all get the news, that we need to make decisions about the communities where we live. And I think that goes to the heart of spectrum licenses for broadcasting, because the duty under law is for those licensees to serve the community that they're in. And I think the FCC over time is going to have to figure out more ways to encourage them to use that license to truly serve that community, because that is a resource we have for news in the world today, and we need to make sure that we support it.
I also have been an advocate for diversity and media ownership. I've worked with my Senate colleagues now, and I worked closely with G.K. Butterfield, a member of the U.S. House of Representatives in this space, and it's another conversation I hope that we can have going forward. I recently was in Catron County in southwestern New Mexico, a population of about 3,500 in the county, in the small town of Reserve, which has between 350 and 500 people living there. Some of the folks that came to chat with me get their internet from a satellite connection, but they're subjected to data caps. And they're not the only ones. Some of my constituents who receive access to the internet through their phones or through other subscriptions are often subjected to these data caps. I think it's a technology of the past. In the same way, I don't believe people should be paying for long-distance calls anymore. I think that's preying on older Americans who predominantly are still using that service when they could make a free call from a mobile device if they have both in their home. And we should also look to modernize revenue streams when it comes to USF. And I think that there's some ways that we can get to the bottom of making access to the internet more affordable and modernizing this so that we can keep people from having to make choices, especially when it comes to not using their internet connection for telehealth, or students with education, or teachers trying to support those students. So I'm hopeful we can get that done. And Madam Chair, I do have several other questions. I'll submit them to the record, but I do want to thank Mr. Bedoya again for coming forward. The other 3 questions that I have, sir, are all for you. I want to again say thank you for the work you have done, especially in the area of facial recognition, and what has led really to Facebook finally admitting that they should not have been collecting that data here in the United States, and they're taking it down. But I do look forward to a full functioning FTC, and especially, again, reminding the FTC commissioners that are here. I incorrectly said earlier it was 2, 4, plus Mr. Bedoya, who I hope will be 5 soon, on getting to the bottom of what's happening with fuel prices, especially given the letter that President Biden recently sent. So I just want to thank everybody for that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Lummis.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My questions are primarily for Chairwoman Rosen-Worcel. So thank you for being here today. Wyoming is one of the states that has had to start developing its own broadband map as a direct result of the FCC's slow pace in releasing maps. So what is your message to